Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to the final week of Crafty Michelle's Haunted Halloween Hop. So this has been a 3-week collaboration where a group of really talented crafters have come together to make Halloween themed projects. It's been Crafter's Choice every single week. So there has been a huge variety of projects and a huge amount of inspiration. This is the project that I made for the first week. It is my altered lantern. So you can see there, it was a plastic lantern, and I painted it and made it look like vintage distressed metal and put the little bugs. But the other thing that I did was these pumpkins in the background. So I had lots and lots of people contact me and reach out to me and say, could you show us how you did your pumpkins, how you painted the pumpkins? So I thought that that's what we would finish on. I thought that's what we would do for the final week. So don't forget, this is a collaboration, so there will be lots and lots of other amazing projects out there for you to see, and they will all be linked in the description box below this video, so please do go on over and check them out. So to show you how to paint the pumpkin, I thought I would do this great big one. So these are just papier-mâché pumpkins that I bought from Hobbycraft. So this is one of the little ones. So I bought a pack of 4 of these, and obviously I used 3 of them in my lantern. And I bought a big one because I just thought that would make a really nice Halloween decor piece. So to save you all dying of boredom, I've already made a start. I took some brown, some burnt umber, and I painted all of the valleys of the pumpkin with some burnt umber. I let that dry, and then I gave the mountain parts, and I just went over the valleys a bit with this burnt sienna, just to give it all a bit of a base coat. So it was all very, very dark. It was all dark brown. I've then gone over it with 2 coats of the orange. Hey, somebody always knocks at the door when I start filming, I tell you. So I then went over, like I say, with a couple of coats of this, and I've not got much of it left. I've used the Deco Arts Crafters Acrylic, and this is just a bright orange. It's quite a transparent orange, this one, which is good. So when I've gone over, you can see that you can actually still see some of the darker paint from underneath. So I've already started getting a bit of texture on this. I've painted over that just because I've caught it as I've been painting. That's fine. I'll come in and do the stalk at the end once I've got the body of the pumpkin the way I want it. So the camera's not picking it up all that well at the moment, but there is lots of light, darker bits where the paint layer that I put on below is starting to shine through, and I will make that more prominent as we go on. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring in my paint palette, and I've put some yellows in here already, and I'm going to take a little bit of that orange, and I'm going to make a slightly lighter orange, and I don't want much of this. I'm going to brush some off. I've got a piece of scrap, I've got an old catalogue to the side of me there, and I'm just brushing off a lot of the paint because I just want a little bit. I'm going to take my paintbrush and I'm going to hold it right at the end so that I've got not as much control over it, and it will be more sort of random. And I'm just going to start hitting the highlights of my pumpkin with this very slightly lighter orange, like so. And again, I'm just going to flick it about, just catching the highlights of the pumpkin. Now, before I go on to the next layer, I need to make sure that this is completely dry. Otherwise, all that's going to happen is it's going to blend and mix together. So I'm going to just pause the video, and I'm going to give this a quick dry with the heat tool. Okay, so I'm going to just take off as much of that paint as I can, just on a piece of kitchen roll or an old cloth or whatever. I just find the texture on the kitchen roll is really good at getting the paint off. Okay, so that layer was quite subtle. You can't see it particularly, but it has added to the overall orangey effect. So this time I'm going to go into this one, which is more yellow than orange. It's like a very, an apricot-y sort of yellow. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing again from reasonably far back. I'm going to start, now this one you're going to start really seeing the texture come through if my camera picks it up. The light's not very good because it's going dark here, so I've got all my lights, I've got all my day lamps and things on, but it's not as good as filming in the day, unfortunately. But there you have it. So you can see that the paint is starting to, this apricot-y yellow is really starting to pick up those all the texture within the pumpkin now. And with each subsequent layer that you put on, you want slightly less paint. You want your brush to be slightly drier with each layer, and that way you still see some of the previous layer. So it's going to be shocking quality because my camera can't cope with the movement of my brush. So I don't know whether I'm going to be able to show you this or not. We'll see. Okay. There we go. So that's that layer on. There we go. So we're really starting to get that texture showing, and I mean it's even better in real life than the camera can pick up, unfortunately. But I will try and take some photos or come back and show it tomorrow in the daylight. Okay, so again I'm going to make sure that this is dry, and then I'm going to go in with a even lighter colour. Okay, so now I'm going to go for an even lighter yellow. So this is just straight out of the bottle, Golden Sun. So this is it is a warm yellow, I would say, but it is definitely lighter. So I want less on the brush, and I am just picking up the highlights now. Really, really little on the brush. And if I've got to pick more up, I sort of pick it up and brush it straight off onto a piece of paper, so that I am getting as little on the pumpkin as I sort of can. And obviously it's the lumpier parts, the bits that stick out, that are really picking up this dry brushing. So the more layers you do, the darker your crevices start to sort of look anyway. But then we are going to go back in and add a little bit more shadow, because I think that really brings it to life. Okay, so I'm just going to dry that off, and then I'm going to get a little bit of a whiter colour. Okay, I've tried to change the camera angle a little bit to try and make it easier. This is going to be the worst shot video on my channel, and I apologise for that. It's quite hard to film these bigger things, particularly because I'm only using my phone. Okay, so I've just put out a little bit there of Vanilla Bean, which is a very, very pale, creamy yellow. And again, I'm going to get my brush in there, a bit on, and then take the most of it off. And again, I'm just going to go over and hit those highlights with a reasonably dry brush. All my paints are drying out. There's nothing but a big lump left in that one. Oh, look at that. big globs. I think that one might be done. A lot of my acrylic paints are coming to the end of their life now, unfortunately. I might have to buy a few new ones. Realised I'm out of shot. Too busy concentrating on what I'm doing. There we go. Okay, so I think that's enough for that. So what I'm going to do is, again, I'm just going to go off camera and give this a dry. I'm going to paint my stalk back in with the brown, because that's easier for me to do off camera, and then I will come back and we will carry on. Okay, so I've given that a coat of paint, as you can see, and when I've dried it, I've held the heat gun quite close and held it there for quite a while, so that the acrylic paint has actually bubbled, and then it sort of does drop back a little bit, but it leaves you with this bumpy, lumpy sort of texture, which is fantastic for the stalk bit, because I am going to dry brush that as well with some slightly lighter browns, and that the bubbling will pick up in the texture. So in my palette, I've got left the burnt umber paint. Got a little blob of orange in it, but that's okay. And I'm just going to put some water. So I've got my paint pot here, and I'm just going to put a bit of, it doesn't matter that it's dirty paint water, because it's brown anyway. I'm just putting a bit of water in, and I want to make this brown really loose, and to make it sort of almost like a milk sort of consistency. Like that. Might even put another little splash in there. There we go. That's better. Okay. Now I just want to make those valleys in the pumpkin just a little bit more prominent, and I'm going to do that with this sort of painty, inky wash. So I'm going to make sure I've got a bit of kitchen roll to hand, and all I'm going to do is take some of this paint, and I'm going to just run it down like that, and then I'm going to take my kitchen roll and I'm going to blot most of it back off again, like so. And it just leaves a little bit of darkness in that crease there. And then just blot most of it back out. And if there's any of it that I don't like, which I'm not keen on this top bit here, it looks too prominent, I'm just going to get a clean brush, dip it in the water, and I'm just going to re-wet and just give it a bit of a, there we go, that's better. Okay, so I'm just going to go down all of the crevices of this pumpkin, and I'm just going to brush the paint in and then pull it back out again, so it is just the barest trace that is left in the valley bit, but it's enough that it just adds shadow and makes the front of the pumpkin, the lumpy bits of the pumpkin, pop just that little bit more. Put it in and brush it off. So I'm going to go and finish that off and just go around and do all of those. And I'm also going to do a little bit of dry brushing on that stem with a honey brown and then an antique gold. Once I've done that, I will come back. Okay, so here we have it. I have given this several coats of the dry brushing, as you saw, and then I've just gone down and put that really thin wash just into the creases of the pumpkin there to just give it that sort of relief and highlight effect. I've then just painted the stalk. Let's see if I can get that in shot. There we go. I've painted that with a dark brown, and then I've just dry brushed over it with a few different shades of brown. I don't know how well you're able to pick up the highlight. That's a little bit better. I'm filming at night, so obviously I'm reliant upon the daylight bulbs that I've got. But as you can see, the pumpkin itself looks really fab. I think it's ever so realistic. I'm in and ahhing about painting a jack-o'-lantern face on here, which I could totally do, and it would look really cute. However, I think I'm not going to put a jack-o'-lantern on this one, just because I can use this for Halloween and full decor then. Whereas if I put the jack-o'-lantern face on, it's, you know, pretty much a Halloween thing. So I'm just going to finish this off with some of this craft wire. So this is just, this is 26 gauge, but I don't think it really matters what gauge it is. You just want the green or brown craft wire. I'm then just going to get a pencil out of my pencil pot, move my pumpkin a moment, and I'm just going to make some coils. So I'm just going to wrap this wire around the pencil several times, like so, and then I'm just going to pull that off, and there we go. We've got a little spiral, and do another one. It's easier if I hold it a little bit closer to me. There we go. So pull that one off, and I'll do one more because I like things in odd numbers. I might end up wanting more than 3, but to start with, I'll just do the 3. So there you go. And then I've got this bag of leaves, which we've seen before on some other projects. In fact, on a crochet project, I did some crochet pumpkins, and I used these same leaves. So I'm just going to pull some of these out. I'm quite liking those. Do quite like the red. I don't know. Okay, so let's see. How are we going to put our tendrils in here? So that might be better if I pierce it. Get my piercing tool, and I'm just going to pierce a little hole, and I'm going to put a touch of hot glue just on the end of that tendril, and then I'm going to push that down and into that hole like so, and then we can have that coming out like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing there. A little bit of hot glue, and squeeze that one in. Let's see the hot glue on that one a little bit more, but push it in and you won't. Right, so where do I want this third one? Do I want it over on this side? Do I want it? I might put some leaves on and then decide where I want that one. So, leaf-wise, Right, so I'm just going to put a bit of hot glue just around the bottom of that leaf, as I don't want the whole thing glued solid. I just want the bottom so that it sort of kicks up at the back there. And again on this one, I'm going to pop another one just there, like so. And then I'm going to snip this one down a bit. Put it on that side there. What do I want it on that side? Yeah, I want it on that side. I don't know why. So I'm just make a little hole. Put some glue on my. It's quite a lot of glue, but never mind. Hot, hot, hot. Push that one down and in there. There we are. Just stand him that way. And then obviously the beauty of these being wire is that you can sort of make them go any way that you want to. So I don't think I want to put another. I was going to put a red leaf on as well, but actually, I don't know. I can't make my mind up. No, I like it with just the green. Okay, so the last thing that I'm going to do is just pop some little dewdrop gem. Put my teeth back in. So some dewdrop gems. Cool, that's a mouthful. But I've just got to find them, so I'll be back in a sec. Blimey, that took some finding. Okay, so I've got these. I've got a little jar of loose ones somewhere, but I cannot find them. But I've just found these in my gem box, and they will do the trick just nicely. In fact, these are quite nice because there's lots of different sizes on this. So I'm just going to pick some up and pop them. She says that like it's going to be easy. Don't be ridiculous. It won't be easy. Not when you're on camera. Drat. Try one of these. There we go. I'm just going to try and pop some of these, which obviously don't want to go on. But I'm going to make them. They will go on. They will. And pop just a few of these around, just to make it look like dewdrops on the leaves. I think I must have had these quite a while because they don't want to come off the backing particularly easily. My hands aren't working very well today either, which isn't great. There we go. There we are. That'll do. There. So that's my Halloween pumpkin. And like I say, you could quite easily turn that into a jack-o'-lantern just by obviously painting the face on the front of your jack-o'-lantern. But oop, my things come out. I think I might need to make my hole deeper. But because I don't want to only have this out at Halloween. I want to have it out all year round. I'm not going to put my face on this one. I'm going to leave it just as a beautiful pumpkin. But that was for those people that wanted to see how I sort of did the dry brushing. I'm trying to get these lights so that you can see it, but it's just really not having any of it. My camera just hates me, apparently. Yeah. Nah, I don't think I can do much more with that. So I think I might just put a little bit of hot glue on that one. But other than that, I'm going to call that done. So that was my final project for Halloween. I thought I would go with some things because I've done lots of sort of proper Halloween spooky coffins and all that sort of skeleton stuff on some of the other collabs, and obviously for the first project on this one. So I thought I'd do a couple of things that weren't quite so spooky Halloween. So obviously I did the Day of the Dead. Sugar Skull. I can't talk. Sugar Skull last week, and then this is my final piece, which, you know, like I say, could be more fall than Halloween, but I love it. I think it's really beautiful, and I will pop this out on next to my crocheted pumpkins, and that will come out every every autumn and come out to be displayed along with my crocheted ones, and it can stay out over Halloween as well. So that's it from me for now. As I said right at the beginning of this video, if you're still with me, fantastic. Thank you very, very much for stopping. Don't forget that this is a collaboration and there are lots and lots of other fantastic crafters that you can hop along and see. So that's it from me for now, and I'll see you all again very soon in another crafty video. Bye for now.